Hey, what's going on, everyone? Jarrell Solis with Confidence Pest Control. As always, first and foremost, I just want to say thank you all so much for tuning in, listening to what I have to say. My hope is that I can bring you some good knowledge and some good golden nuggets of wisdom that can hopefully help you grow your business as soon as today. So thank you all so much. I really do appreciate it. With that being said, I understand that a lot of the people that are watching these, and not to say everybody, and again, thank you to anyone and everyone who does watch, but it's a lot of the newer guys. You know, we're all starting out. I'm right there with you, but you know, you're starting your business and you're trying to figure out, you know, where to go, how to go, what to do, and so I want to be able to help you all with that. So again, with that being said, over the past week or so, I've been trying to think of a good video to help everyone out, and I think I've got something pretty decent right now. So I've got a list of 10 things that you should do starting now, definitely in the beginning. For all you new guys getting ready to start, do these things now. It's going to save you a whole lot of headache later on. For some of you guys have already started, you can relate. Some people who are just getting started or about to start, all that, these are all really great ideas and tips that you can do now, like I said, so that you can avoid all some of the pain and headache that comes from these specific things either not being done or not being done correctly further down the road. So without further ado, I'm just going to go into it. I'm not, you know me, I don't have any fun edits or anything like that. It's just me talking to you guys. If I go off a little bit, it's just because something came into my head and I feel like I should say it. Otherwise, I'm going to jump right in it. So first and foremost, and also these are in no particular order. These are just 10 things that you need to do. But one of the first things for sure is you want to do things the right way. But what I mean by that is you want to make sure you're doing things legally, and that you're doing things kind of, you know, proper. Whenever I say that, I mean separate and differentiate your business from your personal. You know, have a business account, have your personal account. You really want to separate those because your business is its own entity. So you don't want to you don't want to pay all your personal bills and buy everything with your business account. Again, it's going to help you later on down the road. Just get in the habit of differentiating those, and I promise you it'll save some headache, make everything whenever it comes time for tax season and all that. It just makes it all super, super simple. And also, there's guys out there who do things that just aren't the right way. You know, maybe they're not licensed. They're not, you know, they're just kind of doing things on the side. And listen, I can respect the hustle, but at the same time, you do want to do things the right way. You know, for the industry's sake, because, you know, anybody who's out there messing up, doing it wrong, those people are going to get a bad taste in their mouth. They're going to say, hey, just do your own pest control, just do your own thing. Don't hire them because the industry's all messed up because they have a bad taste in their mouth because somebody wasn't doing the right thing. So don't be that guy. Spend the time, get licensed. You know, you're a licensed professional, so be one, be the expert, be the professional, and don't just, you know, jump in without having all the right or all the correct things that you need. So when it comes to that, just all I'm saying is definitely do things the right way. And that kind of leads me into number 2, and that is track your expenses, track all the numbers. You're going to get to a point later on down the road when, you know, you definitely, you're looking at your bookkeepers and you're going to need those numbers, you know, whenever you start to go for loans or equipment, trucks, all that other stuff, you need to have those numbers in order. So just get in the habit of doing it from the beginning. And the numbers will never lie either. So keep up with those numbers. Make sure you're tracking those numbers and make sure you're tracking your expenses. You know, that's all really, really important stuff that you can do. And it's good to start in the beginning so that you're not 5 years down the road and say, oh, you know what? I need to start keeping count of how much I'm spending on product, how much I'm spending on gas, you know, all those things. At the end of the day, you have to remember you're running a business, and one of these days this business is going to grow and you're going to want it to grow. I mean, most of us do at least. And so having all of those, all that stuff in the right spot, having all your numbers in line, all that good stuff, all it's going to do is just set you up for success. So get in the habit of doing that now. and it'll save you so much time, energy, and headache later on. So this was an order. I talked about, the numbers right here, tracking expenses, and that'll lead me into number 4. Well, number 3, I think. I could be wrong. Legally, and then, then expenses. And then since we're talking about numbers, this is number 7 on the list, but we're talking about numbers, so might as well bring it up right now. And that's pricing. Now, with this one, it's kind of, I'm not saying don't be cheap in the beginning, because you got to do whatever you got to do to get your customers. Completely understand it. I 100%, I get it. But let me just tell you that later on, and as you start figuring out your numbers, and as you figure out how much money, your expenses, how much it costs you to do that job, you're going to realize having those higher priced jobs are going to give you the more profit. And pricing is very, very important, because at the end of the day, it is a business. And there's so many things that go into it. Now, remember, if you're the lowest price, you're typically going to get the worst customers, because they don't want to pay. They don't see the value in a higher price. They just, so say I charge $125 for a quarterly service. The new guy swings in and he's like, no, I'll do it for $75 a quarter. Well, now you brought your value down to just $75. And as an industry, they think that we can do a really good job that we should be able to do what we need to at $75. And for an owner operator, hey, maybe you're making a little bit of money in the beginning, or maybe, maybe you can make a little bit of a profit, but at the end of the day, your profit margins aren't going to be very high. And so the problem with that is you start doing all these low accounts, and then you start needing help, because now you've grown. You have, 500, 600 customers that you no longer can do by yourself. But at the same time, you can't afford to bring on help, because the profit margins, even though there is some, and even though you have a lot of customers and you're like, oh, I definitely need somebody, because those profits and because those prices are so low and the money that you're making is so low, you're unable to bring them on. So it really, you shoot yourself in the foot with that one. So you really want to be careful with that. I'm okay with having lower prices, in the beginning to get those customers, but also understand that as time goes on, every year you need to raise those prices. You don't have to make it a whole lot, 3 or 4%, 5%, but you need to increase your prices every year. All businesses do it. You're no different. We're a business. So as much as and I love helping people. I love that. That's what I'm doing. But at the end of the day, I want to be able to grow something special, provide not only for my family, but for the eventual team members that I bring on board. I want to make sure that I can provide for them. And a lot of that goes into profitability. And so having solid pricing from the beginning is really, really essential. It's something that I did. I said, hey, I'll be a little bit cheaper, but I'm not going to be extremely cheap. And it's worked well for me. It's worked well. And I highly, highly recommend that you do the same, that, you charge. You can, knock prices off of off your initial services, so say it's going to be $125 a quarter, but for your initial service, we can do it for only $100, and bring the value. But again, these customers, they're going to see that, and they're going to see that it's $75. They're going to say, okay, they're clearly not as good as somebody who's charging $125, because if they were that good, they wouldn't be charging $75. So perception is reality, and these people, they're going to see that, and they're just not going to think very highly of you a lot of times because of that. And also a big thing that you should also be aware of is that in pest control and a lot of industries, but those people who really care about price, where that is the main determination or determining factor on whether or not they do business with you, honestly, you can have all of them. I don't want those people. Excuse me. Sorry, I had some popcorn earlier. Because those people are they pay the less, but they're always the biggest headaches. They're going to be the ones that have the most complaints. They are going to be the ones that just, whenever you see their name pop up, you're just gonna, oh my gosh, it happens every single time. Talk to a million owners, and a million owners will tell you the exact same thing. It's the ones who are the bargain shoppers, and then at the end of the day, they're gonna end up leaving you for some bullshit. Excuse my language, but it's my channel, so I can say whatever I want. They're gonna leave you for some bullshit, and then they're going to go somewhere else who offers $1 less, and they're just never gonna be happy. So, from the beginning, price yourself well, value yourself. And remember, you are a licensed professional. So treat yourself as so. Don't say, oh yes, I did all the studying to get my applicator's license. I've done everything and I'm going to charge, I can do it for $69. Like, there's just no money in that. And you, at the end of the day, it's a business. So always keep that in mind. Pricing. All right. So that was number 3. We're gonna switch gears a little bit, and I am going to talk about something that I talked about in one of my other more recent videos, and that is the importance of having a really good CRM. For those of you who don't know what that is, and that's completely fine. I remember when I started, I didn't know it. I was like, what is it? And then once I figured, I'm like, oh, okay. But a CRM is just your customer relationship management or customer relations management system, CRM. And you know it as Field Routes or Gorilla Desk or Service Titan or, Service Autopilot or something like that. There's so many different CRMs. Some of the bigger companies have their own specifically created for them. I imagine Terminex and Orkin have their very own specific CRM. But, I come from EcoShield where we were using Field Routes. I was familiar with it, so I went with it. I hear great things about Gorilla Desk. I'm not here to tell you which one to choose, just to make sure that you do choose one that's going to work well for your business. And now the CRM, I won't spend too much time. You can look at the other video, but a CRM is really, really crucial because it is going to be your one-stop shop for all your customers, for you and your customers. You're able to schedule your customers. You're able to bill your customers. You're able to process payments from your customers. You're able to market and advertise to your customers, all of that in one system. I was talking to my old manager or my mentor, Butch, up in Georgetown, and he was talking about how 40 years ago when he first started, it was a yellow notepad with his customer's name, the date that he serviced, the amount, and then when their next service was due. And he would just write it down, write them a service invoice. They would pay however they would pay. And that's how they did it. And he said, he was like, yeah, that's just what I did. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that once you get to a few hundred customers, you're really going to want things to be automated and making life as simple as possible, not only for you, but for your team members, your office people, as they come on board. And as you start growing, you definitely want it to be a modern, a newer, business that uses modern technology so that they're not out there with pen and paper doing invoicing like that. I mean, hey, by all means do you, but this makes it so much simpler. So find a good CRM, whether it's Gorilla Desk or Jobber or Pest or Field Routes or any of the ones that are out there. Find one, but make sure that it works for you. And also understand you don't want to be jumping from Gorilla Desk to Field Routes to Jobber to Pest just because they make you upset one time or the update's taking forever. No. Stick with it and show some loyalty, because as you grow, the last thing you want to do is get to 1,000 customers and say, you know what, Jobber or Pest is just taking too long. I'm going to switch and go to Gorilla Desk. The headache that's going to come with that from credit cards and just so much goes into it. So when you get to that point, it's cheaper to keep her and it's easier. It's less headache than to make that switch. So find one that works for you and your business and stick with it. It's gonna pay dividends in the long run. And these CRMs will range anywhere from $75 for some of the lower ones to maybe $350, $400 for some of the other ones. They all have different features. I personally love Field Routes and Gorilla Desk. They're very, a lot of the same key features, but they come with all your documents that you're going to need for termite inspections. It comes with service agreements that you can customize for your specific business, but it has all that, and it's all very customizable in that CRM. So highly, highly recommend. As a matter of fact, I'm telling you that it is a necessity when starting your business. You can start on QuickBooks or something like that, and I would say do it for the first couple of customers if that's what you want to do. But know that you will need to make that transition into getting a really good CRM. That way, everything is just much easier. I promise you, it's going to pay for itself a million times over. You would never want to go back to life without that. So keep that in mind and make sure you find one that works really, really well. Gorilla Desk is continuously doing some really great things. So, that's a really good one. I personally, Field Routes, it fits for me just well. So that's what I use. But, those two are kind of the top two that I hear about. Not to say anything negative about Pest Pack, Jobber, or any of the other ones. I just don't know a whole lot about them. But, those two are really well. So if you're ever curious and you're starting out, if you want to save a little bit more money, I mean, Gorilla Desk might be that option, but Field Routes for me, I knew that growing and to whenever I grow to where I want to be at, and that's never ending, right? But as I grow, I think Field Routes is the best option for me and for my business. That's just me, but highly, highly recommend you finding a good one. All right, that was number 4. Number 5. Switching gears a little bit as well, and it's branding. And I cannot stress the importance of branding enough. It really is super, super important. Get you a good logo. Get you a good logo. Try to not rebrand, and I say that as somebody who has rebranded, but you want to try to avoid that. But find you a good brand that, really represents your values and stick with it and put it everywhere. Put it on your hats, put it on your shirts. And so what you want to do with that brand is you want brand awareness. For every time somebody sees your logo and your brand, you want them to think something positive. You don't want them to look at that and be like, no, I'm not doing work with them. Just find a really, create you a good logo, go on Fiverr, hire somebody. I mean, do whatever you need to. I hired somebody to create a logo. It was good. I loved it, but I liked it. I didn't love it. I was going to look for somebody else, but then I just went on and I actually did this right here. I designed this, super, super simple. It really just meshes well with what I do because I'm everything that I do is super, super simple. So now you can read my shirt and you can know it's Confidence Pest Control. You don't have to guess. I will advise, some of you guys, I know it's easy to go on to Canva and type in pest control, or to go onto Google and say, or AI and just say, create me a logo for this. Put some thought into it for sure. Me personally, this is just coming from me, I would try to avoid like the cartoon image of a guy in coveralls, chasing a cockroach or, something like that. You want to avoid that. You want to avoid, a guy that's in, hazmat suits and things like that. That's not really giving the image that we're wanting to convey in the modern pest world, and customers are going to see that, and it's just not going to really hit home with them. So that's my recommendation when it comes to that. As far as you don't want to have those cartoons chasing bugs and things like that. Again, I'm not telling you not to do it or anything like that. And for those, I'm not talking down on it, and I hope you don't get offended with anything that I'm saying if that is you. I'm just saying that my personal opinion, in today's day and age, you might be better off with, something a little bit, more modern. If you're trying to tailor towards organic people, have some leaves and things like that, just trees, nature. You want it to be very friendly, inviting. So again, having, a skull and crossbones, and, it's just a red flag for people, and customers are like, oh, it's dangerous. If it's that dangerous, should I really be, going with them? Whereas if you have something welcome and friendly and inviting, they're going to, they're going to want to do business with you. So branding is extremely important. Stay consistent with it. Like I said, I did a brand change, but it was the one time I'm going to do it. I said I'll give myself one time, and unless I partner with somebody in the future or something really major happens, this is the Confidence Pest Control logo for as long as I can imagine. So definitely recommend that. Number 5. This is, and I talk about this as well in other videos, and I talk about having a plan and the importance of having a plan. This really goes into that. Right here, I wrote down marketing strategies. So whether you're going to be doing traditional marketing, digital marketing, a combination of both, you really want to have a plan. Set up some ideas of what you want to do. Are you going to be door knocking? Because you don't really have to do as much marketing whenever you're just doing door knocking. You can go in and just word of mouth by you spreading the word by yourself. Whereas if you want to have a really strong digital presence, you want to be on Facebook and Google, and you want some search engine optimization, and you want people to be able to, type in pest control near me, and you pop up, and you're ranked high up there. You can pay for it, or you can do it organically. But either way, have a plan to do it. Have door hangers if you want to do traditional marketing. Have yard signs. Have all that stuff. Have a plan for all that. And do it very strategically. You want to be putting it in the right areas. Put it where there's a lot of foot traffic, a lot of if you're having a billboard or something, you don't want it to be out on a county road where nobody's driving, especially those people. They're farmers and they live in the country, so they don't mind the bugs. But you want to be somewhere in a neighborhood where people they want to be able to go for walks and not have to worry about spiders, and they want to be able to do, go outside and sit on their front porch, talk to the neighbors without mosquitoes eating them up, things like that. So you think about all that, think about the placement of all that kind of stuff, and truly have a strategy and a plan of attack whenever it comes to marketing, because I've said it before, it's not the best product that wins. And I take this quote from Jonas Olson, Pest Control Millionaire. You guys need to definitely tune in. Everything I'm learning is from them. So Jonas Olson, Danny Lee Brand, Jake Sheldon, Pest Control Millionaire. It's the program. If you want to grow your business, Pest Control Millionaire is the way to do it right there. They will show you step by step on how to do it. But I digress. But like I said, Jonas is the one who said it, and his mentor told him it's not the best product that wins, but it's the best known product. So marketing and advertising is so important, because you might be the best pest technician, best pest control company that ever walked the face of this earth. You might be able to ensure that there will never be another bug at their home. But if they don't know about you, then you'll never get the job. So marketing and advertising is, a lot of people join the pest control industry from the technical side, coming from the technician, side, and they're really good at killing bugs. But business is so much more than that. And so having a marketing strategy, knowing that, hey, I need to get customers. Okay, how am I going to get these customers? Having that plan of attack is going to be everything. So if you guys ever have any specific questions or ever want to talk about it, I'm always accessible to reach and very easily. I'm very easy to reach. So reach out to me and we can talk about marketing all day long. It's something that I really enjoy. And, that's the really fun and creative part about the business. So have a marketing strategy. The next one, and I talked about this in a very recent video, so I'll just kind of touch on it, but I really want to express the importance of having those SOPs. those standard operating procedures. One of the comments was, "Hey, can I make a video on showing just how to do that?" Yeah, I'll work on that, but for now, I'm just going to tell you how simple it is, and it is that simple. After you watch this video, or even right now, just press pause. Well, after I tell you what to do, then press pause and do it. But just think about what you go through whenever you pull up to a home and how you do your regular pest control service. Nothing crazy. They're not having termites, German roaches, nothing like that. Just a regular general pest maintenance service, right? And think about that and write down. And it could be a 7-step process. It could be a 25-step process. Either way, you want to minimize it to make it as simple as possible. For me, real quick, step 1, pull in front of the house where the customer can see me facing traffic. Step 2, get out, take my pole and put it to the side, talk to the customer, ask them if they have any questions or any special or anything that they specifically want me to focus on. Step 3, remove all spider webs and wasp nests. Step 4, dust, voids, cracks, and crevices. Step 5, use backpack flow zone to treat the exterior foundation entryways. Step 5, I guess, I forgot where I was at. Step 5, granulate yard, with whatever product. Step 6, inform customer of findings, check out, and be gone. So it could be as simple as that. Just write that stuff down. And if it's very important to you, like, the devil's in the details, right? If it's that important to you, like for me, make sure you put facing traffic or, going with traffic and parked in front of the door. That's something that's very important to me. I want them to be able to see. I want the cameras to be able to see, hey, there I am. You can see me walking up, all that good stuff. So having that is super important to me. So I put that in my SOPs. Once you've written all your steps out for whatever that is, go into whatever AI you're using. And I highly recommend using some sort of AI, whether it be Gemini or ChatGPT. I love ChatGPT. It's fantastic. It's great for literally everything. So I use that. Go into ChatGPT, say, hey, create me a SOP with these steps, and just write, and it will create a fantastic SOP for you. And then do the exact same thing. Do the exact same thing for your mosquito service. Then do the exact same thing for your termite inspection, the exact same thing for a German roach service. And then even on the office side, do the exact same thing. Hey, how do I add a new customer into the system? Write it down, create it, and then have ChatGPT do it for you. Or hit record, record your screen and have yourself do it for you step by step. And it's that simple. Now you've created that standard operating procedure. So if anybody ever has questions, hey, this is what you do. This is all you do right here. And it's as simple as it can get. So creating those SOPs is not difficult. Break it down. Use the tools in your tool belt like ChatGPT, Gemini, or any other AI software that you might use that you like. But take advantage of it and use it because it's going to do something really, really great for you and help you out. It's created so much stuff for me. I use it literally every single day. I'm getting to a point where I use ChatGPT more than Google. That's how much I use it. So get those SOPs and do it early. Start now, whenever you're starting, even before you've even started doing your first service. Hey, you don't have a lot of customers. You have time on your hands. So document everything so that in the future, everything's super, super simple. I promise you guys, I promise you. Do these things now and it will make all the difference in the future and make everything so much easier. I talked about pricing. I talked about tracking expenses. The next thing you should do, and I've talked about this one as well. Sorry, I know I'm moving around a lot. Is really focus on building some strategic partnerships. This one's very, very important, and it's going to be a big time game changer. It's going to help you in your business so much, and I mean that. Have some really good partners, especially in the home service industry. If you're a pest control guy, you should have a good lawn guy. And I'm not saying have 5 lawn guys and 5 HVAC guys, because if you're doing that to them, you're just sending it to whoever, and you don't want to do that. Find somebody that's similar to you in your business, has a lot of the same values at least, so that you can feel good recommending your customers to that person and vice versa. They know that, hey, Confidence is trustworthy. They're dependable. I know that if I send my customers to them, that they're going to be taken care of. And it's the same thing. Shout out to Adamson Lawn Care, James, my boy, Lawn Care. If you're in Temple Belton, he's your one-stop shop for all your lawn care needs. But he's the only guy that I'm going to recommend. I'm not going to say, oh yeah, him, and then, I've got 4 others to back him up. No. I've got a great relationship with him, and he's the guy that I trust. So I'm going to send my customers to him. He's going to send his customers to me. Do the same thing with the guy at HVAC, because whenever they go up into attics and they're looking and they're checking the AC and they see droppings, they're going to let that customer know, hey, I'm going to fix this, but your wires are chewed through. It looks like there's a rat up there. And they're going to say, okay, well, what can you do about it? No, I don't do anything. He's like, I'm HVAC. You need to call somebody who's in pest control. And hopefully, you've built a relationship with the HVAC guy. So now he's going to say, oh yeah, you know what? But don't worry. I've got the perfect guy. My buddy over here at Confidence, he's going to make sure that you're taken care of. He's the best in the business. And same thing with me. I'm going to say, hey, there's some mice, rats chewing up here. I would get an HVAC guy up here. When they ask who do I recommend or if I know somebody, absolutely. They're not going to spend time and those referrals like that. It's a softball. You just got to hit it out of the park, because they're not going to spend the time looking up, all these HVAC guys and all these lawn care guys when somebody that they know and trust gave them the information for somebody else that can do that job. So focus on those strategic partnerships in the beginning, because I promise it'll pay off in the long run and pay off down the road, just by having those partnerships with them. So it's something that you should definitely do in the beginning. Again, when the business is new and you don't have 10 stops a day, you might have 1 or 2. Yes, you can go knock doors, or you can just find something to do with your time, because your time is your most valuable asset. So get out there and build those partnerships, do door knocking, marketing, all these things. Spend time, because your business it is a business. You don't need to just spend your time doing pest control services in order to grow your business. Doing all these other things behind the scenes, the things that people don't see, those are going to be the things that really help you down the road. So highly recommend getting the strategic partners. And again, for those of you who are in pest control, I recommend finding a good lawn guy, find a HVAC guy, an electrician, find you a pool guy, roofers, there's a lot that can go in that, power washing, different things like that. There's so many different home services. My recommendation is find one from every home service. Find someone who's got good reviews, who's trustworthy, who's reliable, and again, that has a lot of the same values that you do, because then it's just easy. You two can just hit it off. You can say, hey, owner to owner, I want to help you out, and this is what I'm going to do anytime that I have a specific issue, and it's in your field. I can send it your way. You can talk all about it. You can say, hey, we can just do it just to help each other. I'll give you 10% discount, or I'll give you a 10% from referral bonus, different things like that. You can do all that. I didn't have this on here, but I highly recommend that you do it. I just thought about it when I said it, and it's having a referral program, and a really good referral program that you can track, that you're able to see and keep up with, because a lot of times, and I'm guilty of it just as so many other people are, we say, hey, we have a referral program, and they send us a referral, but we don't know how to track it. We just don't know how to do it. I recommend, finding a good program that you can, or having a good program so that you can keep track of all those referrals, so that those people, the referee, it can say, okay, yeah, you know what? It did benefit me to send him a referral. I was able to get a free service, or I got a $50 gift card, or I got $50 in cash. Whatever your referral program is, just have it super simple for the customer to do. And when he or she sees that their referral help their friend, the person that they referred, but also help them out as well. They also got a $50 gift card or something like that. They're going to say, oh yeah, dude, I'm going to send more. And they're going to send more and more and more. The more that they refer, the more that they get, and the more that they get, the more they're going to refer. So it's just nonstop. So have a good referral program. For those of you who are interested in Clicky, by Kendall Hines, it's a decently new company, not too new, but it's a really great company. I just signed up with them. I'll let you guys know how all that goes, but it's exactly that. It's a referral program that lets the customer track everything, makes it super simple for you to track and keep up with all those referrals. I'm really looking forward to it. I've seen companies that have truly, truly grown specifically through the referral program. So once you get it out there, and once if it's a good program, it will work. And I'm excited to get mine going. I just set it up and it's implemented now, and it's going. Some of you might have seen my Clicky welcome aboard video. Like that's it. So that's what on that. I've got two more real quick. It's a contact list. This one's short and sweet. It's very, very important for you to have a contact list. Anytime you do a vending type, if you're a vendor anywhere, if you ever do if you ever get a booth somewhere, say there's some type of convention and they reach out and you can buy a booth. Make sure that you have, a contact form that says you get their name, their first and last name, ideally a good phone number, and ideally a good email. Those are the things you really, 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 really want. And I say that because in the future, maybe they don't sign up right now, but you have that contact information. And you have to understand, maybe they don't need what you need or what you have right now, right? But because it's December. But in June, when the mosquitoes are out, in July, when the mosquitoes are out, who are they going to need? They're going to need you. So by having that contact list and having them as a contact and sending them those things, even if they just open it or they just delete it, they just move it to the trash, whatever the case is, they're seeing it and you're staying relevant. You're staying in their head. You're staying just, even if it's at the back of their mind, it's in their mind. So have that contact list from the beginning so you're able to get those emails, get those phone numbers, and you can do marketing campaigns whenever when you have a good CRM. You can put all those in there in that CRM. So now is your one-stop shop. And so you can go and you can click and you can set it up so that it's just people who aren't customers, who aren't current customers, but have an email, they've showed interest. They were a lead at some point. And so their information is there. They don't have any active services with you, but their information is there. Now you can create your own little group of them, and you can send out a mass email or mass text message campaign to all those people. And now they might need what you're selling. So having that list is just going to set you up for success later on down the road. Just remember that it's not always no forever. It's just no for right now. Sometimes you're going to talk to customers, say, no, I just don't need it right now. But whenever you're staying top of mind, you're doing those things to actively stay relevant in their lives and whatnot. you will get that customer eventually. They're going to say, oh, I didn't need it then. I didn't need it then. I did need it then, but I do need it now. And should I go and Google somebody, or should I just reach out to the person who's been reaching out to me, who I know can do all this, because, they've already established that. And so have that contact list. It's going to help you out. And that's just another part of that CRM part, because you can put all that in there. It makes it super simple for you to do that marketing and advertising, all that good stuff. And lastly, I think you guys, anybody who's seen my channel knows what I'm going to say. This is the one thing that you can do from the beginning that's going to help you grow so much. People look at them all the time. They will judge your company based off of them. They will decide to do business or not do business with you from what they read. If they see that you only have a few, they're not going to go with you. Yes, that's right. Positive Google reviews. One day, AI, ChatGPT, all that's going to take over, and they might just ask that, ChatGPT who to call. And even that's going to, search the web and find the best thing to recommend. But until then, Google is still king. And so take advantage of it. Get those reviews. It's going to help you so much. I just cannot stress it enough. Get those reviews, because like I said, they are judging your company. They will do business with you, or they won't, off of those reviews. If you have one review and it's a negative review, they're not even going to give you a call. They're not. I know that, because think about it. Whenever you go to somewhere, if you're looking for somewhere to eat, somewhere to do business with, and they only have one negative review, or they have 10 reviews and they're at 3.5, it's like, dude, how hard is it to be a 5-star if you only got 10 reviews? So don't be like everybody else. So many people sleep on this. Especially some of these older generations, some of these older pest control companies that have been around for a lot longer than me, and they don't have nearly the amount of reviews that I have. I just hit 2 years and I'm at 165-star Google reviews. I'm getting phone calls because of those reviews all day long. So I'm telling you guys, and I know it sounds like I'm just beating a dead horse, and I apologize, but that's just because it's so important. It's so simple to do, and it's so important. So get those reviews every single chance you get those reviews, because it's going to make all the difference in the world. It's going to help your business grow. It's going to grow your business, and you can do it for free. Instead of spending money on SEO and spending money on everything else, you can just grow a really great business with just having positive Google reviews, and a lot of them. So that's it for today. Hopefully you can take something away from this and you can implement it in your business. Hopefully you can take all of this and implement it in your business, because my goal is just to be those eyes around the corner and help you avoid some of the mistakes that I made. Doing a lot of these things will help you do just that. So again, I hope you took something away. If you have any questions, anything like that, please drop it in the comments. I'll do my best to try and respond. I'm a busy man, just like all of you guys, but I do truly do this for you guys. I get nothing for this. This doesn't do anything for Confidence Pest Control. I just want to help you guys in every way that I possibly can. So if there's anything I can do for you, please don't hesitate to ask. If there's anything that you guys want to hear about specifically, you can drop it in the comments. You can reach out to me if you ever want to talk shop or have any specific questions. I'm happy to answer. But until then, you guys, keep growing those businesses. Keep getting out there and just doing your thing. Keep killing it. And as always, take care and stay confident.